Seeing if that food that we bought can actually last a week. This is controversial, guys.
Yeah, I'm grassing you up. People are gonna think I'm so funny.
This could be a fail. What's happening, FreeGang? We are coming to you live.
But not live.
From our home in London. The sun is shining. It's a great day and I hope it is for you guys too. But I'm not going to make any sort of assumption. Let us know in the comments below where you guys are coming live but not live from. Where in the world? How are things going? Let us know.
So today it's all about food.
My kind of day.
In our previous video we did an Asda challenge where we tried to get our weekly food shop for only £30.
And so this week we are putting that food shop to the test and seeing if that food that we bought can actually last a week.
As you guys know, we've done quite a few of these £30 budget food shopping videos. And many of you have requested that you'd like to see how we actually make that food last a week.
However, we realise that showing you every meal, every day of the week might not be possible.
I think that would be a very repetitive video.
Yeah, and go on for a very, very long time. So today, we are going to show you what we eat.
But we'll also give you examples of other meals.
And tips and tricks to use if you are on a budget.
Or if you're not on a budget and you just want to save money anyway.
Anyway, let's get in the kitchen and get this started. So here we are, guys. Let's have a look at all of the Asda food that we have to use today.
Yeah, so actually, this isn't all the food. This is just some of the food that we got in that challenge. Some of it we've already eaten, have to confess. And some of it is in the freezer as well.
So before we start breakfast, guys, we have one rule in this challenge.
Obviously, we can only use the food that we bought at Asda for £30, with the exception of condiments, seasoning, herbs and spices.
The reason for this is we don't actually buy those things weekly.
The herbs and spices and seasonings and things that I use, I tend to buy in bulk anyway, and I probably buy them once a year, if that. And so the amount we would use in a week would probably equate to pennies anyway. Right, let's get breakfast started. JoJo's not here at the moment. He's at his activity school, so I'm just making breakfast for Bob and I. Yeah, so we're going to have oats for breakfast. I've measured out 1 cup of oats, which is about 80 grams. If JoJo was eating with us, we'd probably measure out about 120 grams, which means that this kilogram bag would last us for 8 breakfasts. So that's more than a week. We do tend to have porridge for breakfast a lot of the time because if you look at the nutritional value of oats, it's actually incredible. Oats feed good bacteria in the gut. They have lots of protein. So yeah, really, really good way to start the day with oats. Also, I got out some of the frozen berries. We realised we didn't actually stick to just the essential food at Asda because we realised that frozen berries, gram for gram, worked out cheaper than even the essential range. So we actually got frozen berries. Yeah, we might add a few grapes in there as well. I'm not going to be using the milk in this breakfast, but I wanted to show you this milk because this is soy milk. It was only 50p for a litre, which is actually cheaper than cow's milk. We're not actually going to use it in this breakfast because what a lot of people don't realise is oats actually make their own milk if you just add water. So you don't need to use milk in porridge. But also, if you wanted to buy cereal, this is a very cheap version. But even if you don't want to pay 50p for milk, I'm going to show you in a little while a way that you can make milk super cheap, like even cheaper than this. Half the price, even probably a quarter of the price of this. Okay, so first we add 1 cup of oats. And for those of you who don't know how to make porridge or oatmeal if you're in another country, it's 1 cup of oats to 2 cups of water. This is the magic ratio. I'm doing it in a frying pan because it uses a lot less energy to heat because it's more evenly spread and there's less metal to heat up than if I was using one of these big pots to do it. So for me, this is just how I do it. It works a lot better for me, but do it how you want to do it. As you'll see, as it begins to cook, you'll see the oats making their own oat milk. I'm gonna add the frozen fruit now so it defrosts as it's cooking. We actually got 2 bags, I think it was 2 for £5. So I've just got to make sure I don't add too many, that we have enough to last us the week. You can see the oats now making their own milk. very creamy. This is why you don't need to add milk at all. It's literally been about 2 minutes and this is nearly done. Right, here we go. Do. I'm just adding some grapes to the top of this. Bob started eating his already. Yeah, I'm grassing you up.
Look at that, guys. You can actually tell where there's a section missing. Easily done, little cost as well, little time, and very tasty.
We didn't add sugar, but I guess it's classed as a condiment, something, so you could add, but we didn't because I feel like the berries and the fruit's enough.
It's definitely enough.
Yeah, sweetness, but you could, if you're not having sugar, you can always add things like stevia, more healthier versions of sugar, or you can add nuts or seeds. This is literally one of the easiest yet healthiest meals that we make.
Yeah. If you're not someone who would want to eat porridge every single day though, like us, there are other options. You could use the flour to make some bread. You can make toast with the spread. You could eat just fruit. Some people have a very small breakfast. She wants to talk or something. We
make bread in the most cheapest, quickest way you can imagine without yeast or anything, and I will show you that in this video. But yeah, that's another really good option for breakfast. Also in Asda they had some really cheap cereals as well, like cornflakes. I can't remember exactly the price they were, but they were fairly cheap. You just get the milk, like I said, 50p. I will show you in a minute how I make the even cheaper milk as well. Okay, as promised guys, I'm gonna show you how to make milk super cheap if you're on a budget, and how we would have made milk for our teas had we not bought this one. But we've got both options now, haven't we? So just a blender. I've actually worked out, I've had this blender for 10 years. Can you believe that? This milk actually costs 8p to make, which is amazing. Cup of oats. And then 3 cups of water. 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna put a pinch of salt in here. You can, if you want, add vanilla extract if you want to, and you can also add some kind of sweetener, sugar, maple syrup, something like that. But we feel we don't really need those things in there, so we're just gonna blend away. But before I start blending, if you make this milk, don't blend it for too long because otherwise the milk can go slimy. Okay, so now that's blended, we get the nut bag. So a nut bag is just, well, it's called a nut milk bag, I think. You use it to make plant milks with. As you can see, I've had this one a long time and made lots of milk with it. So this is just to strain the milk and get the solid pieces out. Okay, so there we go. Look at all that lovely milk in there. And I feel like I'm not gonna waste this. Yeah, I can add it to my bread later. You don't need some fancy milk jug that you see in some YouTube videos. You just need this, like this is just an old reused jar. You can just use something like this. Yeah, so that's not quite a litre, so I think a litre would be about 9p. Yum, that's really good.
Right guys, on to lunch. Now with lunch, with the food that we've got, I feel that we have so many different options. You've got to bear in mind we've got things like potatoes there. We've got the different things which you might use for dinner, you might have for lunch instead. We've got rice, we've got pasta, so many options.
What we're going to share with you though for lunch is a really simple and cheap bread recipe, and we're going to use the self-raising flour that we bought in the challenge. So to make this bread you need very few ingredients. First one obviously is flour. I'm going to make double the amount, so I'm going to do 2 cups. When we make these rolls, we eat quite a lot. 2 cups of flour. This is self-raising flour, but if you use regular flour, then you might want to add some, a teaspoon of baking soda or baking powder. 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 cup of milk I'm going to use. Here's some I made earlier.
For only 8p.
Ooh. This recipe requires 2.5 tablespoons of oil. So instead I'm going to use the butter which we bought, or it's called soft spread, and I'm just going to melt that down and then put it in there. To be honest, you could probably do this recipe without that, but I've not tried it before. Right, it's all melted now, so I'm going to add that. So what you want to do is just stir it a bit to begin with and get it all binded together. It's a little bit moist still, so I'm just going to add a little bit extra flour. I just remembered that I had the remainder of the oats as well, so I'm going to mix those in. It's not something I normally do, but I just don't like wasting any food at all, and I think it'll work out just fine. If you don't like getting your hands dirty, this is not for you, okay? Because this is what I'm doing. I'm just gonna get in there and combine it all a bit more.
So what you're saying then, the mixing of this bread and pressing it down with your hands isn't needed. She thought I was on to something serious and then she was like, oh no, he's joking. He annoys me. I'll get back behind the camera.
As you can see, I've just added some more flour, and don't feel afraid to add extra flour or extra water if you feel it needs it. You want it to be like this, a nice ball of dough, and just keep folding it around, keep folding it in until you get to that nice ball like this. That's it. Just put a little bit more on there and just start rolling it out. Okay, now the bread's all rolled out. I'm going to use one of these cutters. You don't have to use these if you don't have one. You could just use a cut and cut around with a knife if you haven't got these. So I have made more than enough of these for 1 meal, probably 2 meals. So how many do you want, Bob?
4?
4?
Maybe. Is that too many?
No.
Are we just having the bread?
No, I thought we could do like kind of beans on toast or beans on bread.
4.
Maybe put a bit of that butter on
I reckon
top.
4.
You want 4? Okay. So I've just put this on quite a high heat and put a lid on, and I just normally leave that for about 2 minutes and then turn them over after 2 minutes. While those are in there, I just wanted to show you a really cheap gluten-free version of that, because when Bob and I were looking in the gluten-free section, everything was so expensive. So yeah, I just wanted to, any of you guys who are gluten-free want to give you, or you just want to not have so much wheat in your diet, I just wanted to show you a really good way of doing this with gluten-free flour, cheap gluten-free flour. So these were around 50p for a kilogram of rice. I'm just going to use half a cup just to give you an example. Just pour. Obviously you need a decent blender for this, but I think it's always worth investing in a decent blender anyway, because it will save you money in the long run. You have to make sure that the blender is dry inside as well. Okay, so as you can see, guys, rice flour. And so you would do the same thing as we just did, but use the rice flour. Also, another really good alternative is if you want to make potato bread, you mix half the amount of flour with half mashed potato. Potatoes are so cheap as well, and potato bread is delicious as well. So these have had about 2 minutes on each side and they smell amazing. Okay, we've got the beans on, guys. And I've just put the second lot of bread on. We had a huge amount of dough left, which we put in the fridge. JoJo absolutely loves making these rolls, so he can use that to make some for himself when he gets home. And Bob and I were just figuring out what this meal cost. And for the bread we made here, including the milk, which cost us next to nothing, and the flour that was very cheap, it was about 15p for the bread. And the beans were 28p. So yes, this is a very, very cheap meal. We were actually going to put some of the butter onto these, but we thought, because this is quite a cheap meal already, we thought we would use one of the avocados. The avocado is £1.40 for 4, which is amazing value. So that makes one of them 35p. This would make this meal 88p. For those of you who struggle to get pips out of avocado, this is a really good tip of the day.
Tip of the day.
Ready? It's this easy, okay? That's it. And
But you're glad that happened first time and worked alright, weren't you?
I mean, it always works out alright, unless it's not ripe. That's the only time when you can't get it out. You shouldn't be really eating non-ripe avocados. And what I do as well with this pip, people are gonna think I'm so funny. I won't do it now because I've got makeup on, but I rub it all over, like the oil, all over my hands. And then I rub it all over my face and neck. It's a really good like moisturizer, and really it's got loads of vitamin E in it, and it's really good for like youthful looking skin. Not that there's anything wrong getting older. It's good to get older. Yeah, it's a healthy thing to do. But right now, I'm just gonna put it over my hands. You leave it on there for about 10 minutes and then rinse it with warm water. And yeah, really good. Another tip.
That's a decent lunch, mummy.
I know. I took 4 cherry tomatoes out of the pack that we got as well. Those tomatoes were 60p. We estimated that was about 10p's worth of tomatoes.
Yeah.
So didn't add too much onto the meal.
Well, she's putting beans on top of there. This is controversial, guys.
This is like a great version of beans on toast.
How's the bread?
Oh, bread is amazing.
Do you feel that you're missing out anything compared to buying store brand bread?
No, this is healthier anyway because they do add so many preservatives to store-bought bread, so this is probably healthier. Also, I feel like this is better than when we usually make it. Maybe because I did the oats, the leftover oats. That's a secret ingredient. Speaking of that, you can actually make oat flour in a similar way to how I showed you to make the rice flour. And if you get gluten-free oats, then it's gluten-free as well.
So as far as lunch is concerned, very easy and very simple way of going about it. Obviously we make bread regularly, so that maybe makes it a bit easier for us, but it's a very simple bread recipe. But as you saw with the different food we've got, potatoes, rice, pasta, lots of different options for lunch to last us throughout the week. Okay guys, we've got to head out and get JoJo in a minute, pick him up from his activity school. Before we do that, we're going to do some prep for dinner. We've still got a lot of options, obviously, lots of different things to pick from, but we're going to try and get quite creative.
So yeah, I remembered that we bought this pack of peppers. There's 6 peppers in here, which was only, I think, $1.70. So we're thinking of doing some stuffed peppers and maybe some potatoes or something with it. So before we go and pick JoJo up, I'm just gonna do the prep for that. So I've got a cup of rice here. I'm gonna cook the rice to fry up with some other bits to put inside the peppers. I always cook rice in the Instant Pot because it's like just really quick and super easy. I was looking for some other vegetables that we could fry with the rice for the filling, for the stuffed peppers. I'm gonna do carrots. I wish I had bought onions. I just didn't even think. They're so cheap as well. But maybe I can use some onion seasoning that I have up there. But yeah, I think I'm gonna use half a tin of these tomatoes as well. I'm gonna chop these up using my V slicer. I just love how this thing chops vegetables. I made some little potato fries the other day, exactly the same way, and they were so yummy. I just fried them all up. If I had bought onions, I would have fried the onions first of all with the butter, but I haven't got that, so I'm just gonna use half of this tin of chopped tomatoes. I'm gonna put the carrots on, and I'm just gonna add to this some different seasoning. I've decided I'm going to chop up a couple of these vegan sausages and also put them in there. Right, so I'm just going to chop these up into little slices and put them in as well.
In case you guys were wondering, I swear I could have seen Katie chopping up sausages with a pair of scissors. You were right, that did actually happen, but it's a cool little trick.
It gets things chopped up very quickly. I actually use scissors to cut up pizza slices as well.
Yeah.
Bigger scissors though, you need bigger ones for that.
Doesn't matter what piece of food there is, she'll cut it up with scissors. She's going to chop up the potatoes with it.
No.
That wouldn't work. I must say as well, Mummy, for a dinner we had very simple options available to us here. We could have just done veggie fingers and potatoes and beans, but I really like how creative you've got with this.
I forgot we had the veggie fingers.
Oh no! It could be a dinner another day in the week. See, lots of meal options.
I mean, you could make a couple of dinners with those. There's 16 in a pack.
So that prep of dinner is all done now. We're just going to go pick up JoJo and then we will finish it off when we come back.
And I've got a really good dessert to show you guys as well. Okay, we're back, guys. Now the rice is done. I'm just going to mix it in with the mixture here. Okay guys, I have made way too much of this rice mixture. So I've got all of this, which weighs a ton. And then I've still got more rice in there. And this is only for stuffing the peppers. So this actually could be dinner for tomorrow, which would be awesome and save me having to cook. Maybe we could add some of that shredded vegan duck to it or something. So I've cut all the tops off of the peppers, guys. I'm gonna save these bits. Maybe we can use them with a stir fry or something like that tomorrow. Sometimes people put the filling inside and then put the top on and cook it like that, but I don't wanna do that. I'm gonna save these tops for something else. I could do them with pasta tomorrow. Guys, remember in one of our last videos, the kettle video, I showed you how you can cook pasta in a flask just with boiling water, and it saves you so much time, power and money. I've realised that this spaghetti fits perfectly inside the flask, and I even tested it. You can even put the lid on and everything. So that's one of the things I'm going to do tomorrow. And that's 500 grams of pasta, which feeds us at least 2 dinners. So maybe I could add the tops of the pepper to that or various other things. But yeah, I just wanted to throw that one in there as well. If you want to know how I cooked the pasta in the flask like that, check out the video in the corner. All right, I'm gonna start putting the filling in there. Okay, here we go, guys. Some are smaller than others. You see what I mean? That is definitely a meal for tomorrow, isn't it, on its own? I'm gonna put them for about 20 minutes and then check on them and see if they need more. Okay, right, I'm going to use about 1/4 of this bag of potatoes. I'm going to do some nice mashed potato with this. I'm going to use some seasoning and I'm going to use some of the oat milk that I made earlier. Yeah, I'm just going to try and give them a good clean and leave the skins on as much as I can. If there's any dodgy bits, then I'll cut them off. The skin's actually good for you. It's got lots of fibre and we can still make mashed potato with the skins on. I'm going to do the mash in the Instant Pot as well because it's super fast in there. Also, another quick tip is the smaller you cut your potatoes from mashed potato, the less power you'll use and the less time it will use to cook them. Right, so the peppers are out, they're all done and looking good and smelling really good too. And the potatoes are done too. I've just put some salt and pepper on them and I'm gonna put some of the oat milk in there. That's it. And I'm going to use these rather than a masher because these are just quicker and easier.
So just to confirm, guys, in case any of you are getting confused, we won't be making mashed potato, we will be now making whisked potato. Okay?
Okay, I'm just plating up everything now. Jojo's very hungry. There were some smaller ones, so I'm going to have the smaller ones. I'm going to give the bigger ones to you and Jojo.
And Jojo's here with us.
Hello.
How you doing, mate?
Good.
Yeah, you're tired and hungry, aren't you?
Yes.
We gave him 2 of the bread rolls that we made today and you really enjoyed them. And you were a bit shocked about the dinner.
Yeah.
He's never seen stuffed peppers before.
It sounds weird, but I've never seen stuffed peppers before.
They come out really nice though.
Yeah,
Check it
and the
out.
mash is very, very good too.
See this one? This is the stuffing that's inside, but I had so much extra that I put some on the side of the plate.
That's cool.
This is mashed potato. If you like this rice stuff, I did try some and it's delicious. Yeah, if you like this rice stuff, there's enough for a whole meal for tomorrow. I just wanted to say this meal, we worked it out.
Costs about £2.70.
Yeah, about £2.70, but we do have a whole nother meal for tomorrow because of this. So
Yeah.
that worked out really well.
So the food's going very far, as you can see.
So you've eaten a lot of the mashed potato. Do you want to try the stuffed peppers?
Do you eat them with your hands?
No, you eat them with a knife and fork.
See if this works out or if it falls apart. Let's see what his verdict is. But let's not ask him while he's eating.
It's quite good. I like it.
You do? I have made stuffed peppers before, but it was years ago that
Yeah.
I made them. But he doesn't remember me making them.
I'm going to give this a go with the hand because I look at that and I think that's the way it should be eaten. But this could be a fail. That's good.
Nice, isn't it?
You laughing at me?
Sorry, just...
And it didn't fall apart either. Well done, Mummy. Thank you. So Mummy has just informed me that a dessert is taking place.
Yes, very good dessert. So if you remember that video, guys, we got bananas and some extremely cheap strawberries. So I said in the video I was going to freeze them and that's what I did. Also, I froze 4 of the bananas this morning. So I'm going to make some ice cream. If you guys buy ice cream, you know how expensive it is. It can be anything from £2, which that's pretty cheap. We got it in Poundland for that, but in places like Tesco, Sainsbury's, it can be £3 to £5. And that's just for a tub. But I'm gonna make ice cream for everyone with these. So I'll put the frozen bananas in there. And now I'm gonna put these frozen strawberries. I'm just gonna leave the tops on because that's a tip of the day. You can eat the tops off the strawberries. Bob always eats them. We like it soft, so I'm gonna add in some of the oat milk from earlier.
Do you want me to blend it up?
Yes.
Hi guys!
Bob's the expert at blending ice cream, aren't you?
I always used to do the ice cream, haven't I? I've always been the banana ice cream man of the house.
You have.
Quick taste test. It's good. Maybe you didn't even need that milk, but it is good. Let's serve it up. Look at that, guys. Looking amazing.
Jojo!
She's got 2.
One's for Jojo. Come get some ice cream.
For like we need maybe some toppings. We've got any condiments I can go on top of this.
You can put vanilla in it, vanilla extract. You can put chocolate chips. You can put nuts, seeds, whatever you want on it. Right, you want to try some?
It's gonna be really cold, isn't it?
Yeah, so don't brain freeze yourself.
That's good.
Yum.
Nice, isn't it?
Tastes very banana-y but strawberry-y.
Strange that, strange. Guess what the two main ingredients were?
Cinnamon and avocados.
Correct. Oh, cinnamon and avocados. What a weird combination that would be.
You could put some cinnamon in this.
So guys, that is all of our meals for the day. I hope this video has demonstrated to you with some of the other ideas and tips and tricks we've given you how far the food that we got from Asda can go for 7 days. In some cases, maybe even more. That we have plenty of meals that we could make. And you've made some really creative ones. We could have made it simpler and probably made the food last longer.
It'll be more simple tomorrow.
Yeah, and we wouldn't always make a dessert, would we?
No.
No, desserts aren't necessary.
This is just to show you guys that you can make ice cream like super cheap.
We'd love to hear your comments about this, guys, so let us know what you think in the comments below. And we will see you all in the next video. Just remember though, guys, no matter where you are in the world, you guys always stay free.
And just keep rising.